Most people don't realize they are overthinking. They don't sit down and say, I am overthinking. They just feel tired, not physically tired, but mentally heavy. They wake up already feeling behind. They move through the day with low energy. And by night, even simple things feel difficult. And they ask themselves quietly, why am I so drained? The strange part is this. Nothing dramatic is happening. No major crisis, no extreme workload, no visible problem. Yet the exhaustion is real. This is how overthinking works. It doesn't shout, it whispers. It slowly consumes your energy without ever asking permission. Let me tell you a story. Imagine a person sitting alone in the evening. The room is quiet. The phone is face down on the table. Nothing urgent is happening. Yet their mind is loud. They replay a conversation from earlier in the day. They think about something they should have said. They imagine how someone might have misunderstood them. Then the mind jumps. What if this keeps happening? What if I make the wrong decision? What if I fall behind in life? No action is being taken. No problem is being solved, but energy is being spent. This is the first truth about overthinking. Your brain does not distinguish between real effort and mental rehearsal. Thinking feels harmless, but it is work, invisible work. Every imagined scenario costs energy. Every what if requires focus. Every replay activates emotional circuits. And because nothing gets resolved, the brain never rests. Overthinking is not intensity, it is repetition without resolution. Now here is something important. Overthinking is not a personality flaw. It is not a lack of intelligence. In fact, many overthinkers are deeply thoughtful people. They care. They notice details. They try to understand. But the brain was not designed to carry open loops all day. The brain wants closure. When it doesn't get closure, it keeps returning to the same thought, again and again and again. Each return drains a little more energy. Imagine opening 10 browser tabs in your mind. Each tab is half loaded, none are closed. Your system slows down, not because it's broken, but because it's overloaded. This is why overthinking feels exhausting even when you haven't done much. Now let's look deeper. Why does overthinking start in the first place? Usually it begins with uncertainty. Uncertainty about the future, uncertainty about relationships, uncertainty about yourself. The brain hates uncertainty. When something is unclear, the brain keeps checking it, like touching a loose tooth with your tongue. You know it doesn't help, but you keep doing it. The brain believes that thinking more will bring clarity, but often thinking more just creates more noise. Here's another story. Think about someone who lies in bed at night. The body is tired, the lights are off, the day is over, but the mind refuses to shut down. It reviews tomorrow, it worries about yesterday, it imagines problems that haven't happened yet. This person is not lazy, they are not weak. Their brain is trying to protect them. Overthinking is often a form of self-protection. If I think about everything, the brain believes, nothing will catch me off guard. But the cost of this protection is constant tension. The brain stays alert. The nervous system stays active. Rest never fully arrives, and over time, this creates a specific kind of exhaustion, not burnout, not depression, but a quiet depletion. You feel slow, you feel foggy, you feel like your energy leaks away before the day even begins. This is why overthinkers often say, I'm tired, but I didn't do anything. They did something, they carried everything. Now here is a crucial distinction. Thinking is not the same as processing. Thinking loops. Processing moves forward. Overthinking is thinking without movement. The brain circles the same point hoping something changes, but nothing changes because no action or decision is made. This is why writing things down feels relieving, not because it solves the problem instantly, but because it moves the thought out of the mind and into the world. The brain finally says, I don't have to hold this anymore. Energy returns not when problems disappear, but when the mind is allowed to let go. Another important truth. Overthinking steals energy not in dramatic moments, but in small, constant ways. You overthink what message to send. You overthink how you came across. You overthink whether you're doing enough. Each moment seems small, but together they create a constant drain. It's like a phone app running in the background all day. You don't notice it until the battery's gone. This is why calm people often seem energetic, not because their life is easier, but because their mind is quieter. They are not carrying 10 versions of the future in their head. They deal with what is in front of them. They allow uncertainty to exist without constantly wrestling it. And here's the part most people miss. You don't stop overthinking by telling yourself to stop thinking. That only adds another layer. You stop overthinking by creating places where thinking is no longer required. Routines, structure, external systems. When you decide certain things once, the brain stops revisiting them. When you have a fixed time to plan, the brain relaxes the rest of the day. When you write instead of ruminate, energy returns. Overthinking fades not because you become smarter, but because you become kinder to your mental limits. The brain is powerful, but it is not infinite. It needs boundaries. This is why discipline and structure reduce overthinking, not by force, but by removing unnecessary decisions. When fewer things are uncertain, the brain rests. And when the brain rests, energy returns naturally, slowly, quietly. This is the final truth. Overthinking does not mean something is wrong with you. It means your mind has been working too hard for too long without rest. And rest does not come from distraction. It comes from clarity, from closure, from letting some thoughts end instead of endlessly continuing. When you learn to give your mind places to stop, your energy stops leaking, and life begins to feel lighter again. Not because you fixed everything, but because you stopped carrying everything at once.